Hey guys, I'm Darian Ghanavati,
Hi, I'm Bosco.
Hi guys, my name is Mason Berfield.
and in this recap, we talk about balancing speed and quality.
We will be going over systems
I talk about project engineering, I talk about project management, and I talk about project psychology.
and specifically a system that I made during the month of July for one of our clients.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this month, kind of a broad view of it, there's been a lot of projects coming in and a lot of project management, project engineering, and project psychology is what I like to call it. So project psychology, I like to think as like your flow state, that point in which you're able to kind of operate on your own. And I've been seeing that a lot with within myself and a lot of team members I'm with. We can get to the point where we just shut up and we start working on the project. And a lot of times that's when you get the most amount of learning and experience done, especially as these projects have become more and more complicated. And when you're dealing with something like quality isn't something you want to lay over someone like a weight. Quality is something that happens through time and through effort. And so that genuine effort and wanting to see something look good through craftsmen that we are is something that is really beneficial. Seeing someone work into that zone is really cool, and being in that zone is a really cool zone to be in as well. So I feel like letting go a little bit and allowing the work to kind of fill your mind and kind of take over, be part of that flow state. I think as a creative, you kind of need to create the environment that you want in order to be the most effective. And a lot of times it can be very weird where you have 16 things all running at the same time to kind of block out and focus on one thing, or it can be absolute silence on the other end in order to make it work.
This month was a lot of just managing clients, but other than that, just trying to develop systems to make it easier on our side so we don't have to manage as much. So trying to systematize a lot of things. One in particular system that I made was an interview reminder system for one of our clients. And basically, when our client schedules an interview for one of their potential employees or hires, we take some of the data in their CRM and we take it, manipulate it, and we start reminding these potential hires on a systematized basis. So they get an initial email and text, and then they get an email and text or reminder the day before their interview, and then the morning of their interview. So I built that whole system, and that's an example of how we're trying to systematize some of this stuff. The system that I made for our client, it wasn't over time or anything. It was we rolled out a new feature for them because they were specifically having trouble with getting people to show up to their interviews. So we put our heads together and we tried to figure out the best way to get those rates up, those interview show rates up. So we came up with the system and we built it out, and it works pretty good, and we're still analyzing the data to see how well it is working. But that's the kind of the solution that we put together. Specifically with the interview reminder system that I put together, one of the main challenges that I faced was kind of working within so we use a certain tool to develop these systems, and working within the environment of this tool is kind of hard because one of the features that I needed to make the system work wasn't provided by this tool, not directly at least. So I had to find a way with all of their different tools, kind of combine them together to get that result that I needed. So I had to kind of find a workaround within the tool, but that was probably one of the main challenges when developing the system.
How you handle big projects is you find parts where you can handle, and then slowly get to the harder problems, and then after that you should be good because you handled everything you could. So to kind of illustrate what tackling on the smaller details before the bigger details is, in the digital recruitment video, I had to download some B-roll from a stock footage website, and I also had to go into an After Effects file and bring in some text that we needed and some vectors that we needed to put in. So that I handled later. But first I handled the stock footage and putting it in the right place. After I knew I could handle that and that was all done, I tackled the After Effects project. Given that took more time just because it was difficult, but in the end it turned out with a very solid product. Some challenges that I faced this month was working on projects that were given to me a bit faster. So Nikki, Parker, or Andrew, or even Mason would come to me with a project, and I need to focus on getting it done properly, and done fast. So you should never compromise quality over speed, but speed will ultimately make you better in the long run. Quality is something that you curate over time, but when facing a hard deadline that you need as soon as possible, quality is a very hard thing to come by. So my suggestion is get it done as fast as you can first, like say within an hour, right? And you have still 2 more hours left. Use those 2 hours to perfect it. So it's all about speed first and perfection later.